Hot 24. We're 7 hours in.
Yeah.
Fiona Miller heads up the marketing PR for Gulf Racing with McLaren. So I appreciate a little bit of time. What I'd love to do is have you guide me through all the things I don't know about how this team operates here trackside to make the racing happen. Behind us, we've got the two transporters.
Sure.
Two transporters brought everything in.
We've got two 38-ton trucks in which we bring everything that we need into the track. So that includes the cars, all the equipment that you see here, so whether that's toolboxes, wheels, all that sort of thing. The only thing obviously we don't bring is tyres, which the tyre company will provide. So these are our home from home when we're at a racetrack. So in one of the trucks, it's a fairly blank space, but it's where the mechanics will leave all their stuff to get changed, where they'll put all their spare parts, spare bits of bodywork, that sort of thing. The other truck in there has an office in the front, so the engineers are able to use that as a briefing room or to be able to work out strategies and so on and so forth. And then there's toolboxes, there's spare parts, more spare parts, in smaller things like consumables like oil, lubricants, that sort of thing, as well as all your spare nuts, bolts and so on that you need.
So that's data ready, there is engineering there, but that's not really the home office during the race. No, that's over here?
That's right. What we do is that when we get to the track, we'll set it up. So the first day will be spent setting things up so that you have carefully delineated areas. So you have back here is where all your tyres and your tyre preparation is done. Your tyre guys can then work out all the pressures and make sure that these guys are all ready to go. We've got an engineering setup here which has a bank of screens that we can follow the race at any one time. We have two data engineers who work with the race engineers. Race engineers are based out on the pit wall. These guys will record, monitor and make sure that we conform to regulations in terms of how long guys are in the car, what sort of lap times they're doing, and so we've got a record of absolutely everything that happens. And then on either side here we have each mechanic, each car has toolboxes and spares and so on and so forth.
And this is pretty stout in terms of data, but it's pretty stout in terms of experience. Earlier, Dave Price, who owns the team and makes it work. So the cars look pretty, but they're pretty good in terms of experience behind it.
Dave indeed is the team principal. The team is owned by Mike Wainwright and by Roel Goethe.
Okay.
But Dave is team principal, hugely experienced. He's been in racing for a very long time. Worked with the McLaren F1 GTRs back in the day, so has lots of experience of working with these cars as well, which is great. Dave is the strategist, the overall strategist, so he will make sure that both cars are tying in together in terms of making sure they don't come into the pits at the same time, so that there's no sort of potential clashes, things like that.
So we're going to show this after the race, so we're not trying to expose strategy. Yeah. Are you running the cars on the same strategy now, or one is doing an A and one is doing a B?
There's a difference in lap times when they come in, just simply so that we don't have both cars in at the same time, because some of the guys, to do the pit stops well, some of the guys double up on both.
And we've had all rain. Has that changed strategy already?
It's changed strategy a little bit in terms of how long certain drivers are doing stints. Some drivers are obviously more comfortable with difficult conditions than others. Some drivers are more comfortable in the dark than others. So it's changed a little bit.
Can we walk out to the garage area and the pit? So first of all, very F1-like. The walls are all decorated. It's a great presentation.
Yeah.
But beyond that, you've created some comfort for the crew.
Yeah.
What do we got going on here?
Well, actually a driver has the easiest time in a 24-hour race because they get in the car but do their stuff for an hour, 2 hours, maybe 3. When they get out, there's somebody to give them a massage, and somebody to look after them in terms of giving them something to eat. They have a motorhome they can go and get some sleep. The mechanics really have the toughest time. They're on duty every hour, all the way through, and that's even assuming that that's just scheduled stops. So in between times we give them a seat to sit in, make sure they try and get a bit of a rest, so that they have an ability to be able to switch off and then switch on the minute they hear that the car's coming in. So that's why.
And like what's happening now, even though the cars are not in, they're moving equipment, they're preparing stuff, they're working more than sitting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean they will. I mean as the race sort of evolves and things get into more of a rhythm, which the rhythm has been disrupted because of the rain, but as things get into a rhythm they'll be able to spend a bit more time having a bit of rest between pit stops.
We're going to wait for a pit stop, but final question. Who quarterbacks all the movement?
In the race situation, it's Dave Price. In terms of logistics of getting things and so on, it's George Blagg, who's our team coordinator.
Thank you. Thank you for the time. As Fiona mentioned, everything is portable. So here's the fuel rig to create the pit stop. You can see all the scaffolding that each team builds to create the lighting and the fuel nozzle to get to the car effectively, efficiently, so the crew can work underneath. GT3 rules are just like most sports car rules. Fuel, then tires. You can't do both. Driver change happens. You'll see the SRO official writing down on a paper pad what happened in the pit stop, keeping record. All of it, obviously, very, very coordinated. All of it, a big logistical game. Crew's getting ready for a pit stop here. Looks like changing no less than 2 rain tires. Nope, all 4 are coming out. There'll probably be fuel here the way everyone's kind of starting to act. And we'll see if, looks like no driver change because double sitting the driver is also a time saver in a pit stop. So it's very old school. He's going to write down the notes of what happens on this pit stop and file the receipt to the SRO, the sanctioning body. Fuel first per the rules. Watch the back of the car. So that's what happens in GT3 racing. It may be Pro-Am by definition, but it clearly is real racing with all the gymnastics and logistics that go with this. That was the difference between Nürburgring. Nürburgring felt like, as I mentioned on that video, a marathon, where there was a bunch of racers that were coming just to do it, just like people compete in Boston and New York just to say they did it. Here, the amateurs, they may not have the reputation and record of a pro driver, but they're serious about it, and this is all professional racing. Just see it in the facilities set up here for Gulf Racing, and the pit stop, and the driving caliber. They're doing well. Both cars are still running.